beverages, snacks, spreads, and more. It's that time of year again for the Specialty Food Association's annual Winter Fancy Food Show. Hi, I'm 𝗟𝗏𝘁 from the Food Institute. Today, we are going to be discussing the 2025 Winter Fancy Food Show as well as the specialty food industry as a whole. Joining me today is our special guest. She is the Senior VP of Marketing for the Specialty Food Association, and her name is Leana Salamah. Welcome to the show.
Thanks so much, Brittany. Thanks for having me.
So could you tell me what the Winter Fancy Food Show is and its goal?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Winter Fancy Food Show is, certainly it's a gathering of all of the manufacturers, makers, retailers, buyers, and food service within the specialty food industry. But what's really special about the Winter Fancy Food Show is that it's the first food show of the year. So it's really kind of an opportunity to set the tone for the year that's coming in terms of trends, in terms of product launches, and in terms of understanding what consumers are going to be eating in the next calendar year here.
So what are you excited about for this year's show? Is it the exhibitions, the guests, the competitions?
It's really all of the above. There's a ton to be excited about at this year's show. Starting out with some of our guests and speakers and sessions, we have two keynotes this year, one of which we just announced today, which is Chef Scott Conant, who, in addition to being a acclaimed restaurateur, actually is also a regular on various Food Network shows like Chopped and the like. But he actually used to attend the Fancy Food Show in his younger days, and now is coming back as a speaker to talk a little bit about how his journey through the food service industry and how specialty food plays a role, not just in retail, but in food service as well. So he will be speaking to our audience on Sunday of the show. And then on Monday, we have a special guest, 𝗟𝗶𝗱𝗲𝗁, who is a maker of different types of flavored mayo and condiments, and also a natural wine, former editor of 𝗩𝗶𝗱𝗲𝘁. She's kind of an up-and-coming maker in our space. So our audience will hear from her on Monday. There are also a couple of sessions that I think are incredibly timely and really kind of can't miss. One is related to tariffs. So we're going to bring in a handful of industry experts to talk about what you might expect in the coming year from some of the potential tariffs and how to both manage through them and how to kind of mitigate, any potential issues that they could cause. So that's certainly, we expect to be a full house. And the other session actually is one we're doing with Food Institute, which is a state of the industry outlook. And what I really love about this session is that we're approaching it in a little different way. We're blending kind of the traditional research and checkout data and whatnot that you would normally use with these types of studies with social listening. So using AI to go out into the world and identify what consumers are talking about and what they're excited about. It's kind of an opportunity to get in front of some of the things, like if you think about this past year and the cottage cheese craze that kind of started on TikTok, social listening gives us an opportunity to pick those things up as they start to reach a groundswell and identify them and where they're kind of headed. So very excited about our speakers and about our sessions. When it comes to the show floor, we have a few new activities that I think are going to be really exciting. One is what we're calling our first taste experience. And that is it's actually a small little food hall right on the show floor. And each of the 3 days, we will be featuring a different theme. So day one will be international cuisine, featuring our partner country, Italy, as well as a handful of others. Day two, we're going to take a look at holiday SKUs because, believe it or not, it is already time for our makers to be thinking about what SKUs retailers are going to want for the holiday season in 2025. And then on Tuesday, we are actually going to do samplings based on some of our trends that are coming out from different flavors and different consumer lifestyles. And then last but not least, I have to plug our first night celebration. The show floor closes at 4 p.m. on Sunday, January 19th. And the doors will open up into the lobby where we will have a huge gala celebration. And let's just say there will be a very exciting announcement made during that event.
We love a good tease. So that's definitely building the anticipation for the show. Speaking of the show, in years past, we have seen trends in various We've seen various trends in flavors, colors, packaging. So what are some of the trends that you're looking forward to in 2025?
Yeah, so certainly there's a few that still fall into kind of the broad, flavors or ingredients standpoint. We're seeing a lot with lavender. We're still seeing a lot with black garlic, and we're certainly seeing a lot of chilies and, other types of heat being added to food. But one thing that is really standing out for me is really about the lifestyle, the trends in consumer lifestyles and how they're eating. For several years now, I think we've all been kind of saying that snacking is on the rise. And a lot of times people associate that concept with traditional snack food, chips, pretzels, whatnot. But the truth is that snacking is almost more of kind of a way of eating than it is a what you're eating. It's about smaller portions more frequently throughout the day. And you see it across all different foods. So people may snack on, cheese or deli products. People may snack on traditional snacking foods. They may snack on small, individual size frozen entrees. So snacking is really a lifestyle versus just a category that we're watching. The other lifestyle piece that I'll talk a little bit about is about functional foods and about nutrition. And this goes back to, the phrase food as medicine was coined several years ago, but I think it's coming to life in different ways these days. Specifically that for a while, consumers were thinking about what they didn't want in their food. What were they avoiding? Whether it was additives, preservatives, chemicals, whatnot. Now it's actually moved into a place where consumers are thinking about what do they want added to their foods. So you see different types of adaptogens and functional ingredients being added into food and beverage products that consumers are using to enhance their well-being, whether it's, mental or emotional, or whether it's, physical well-being.
The food industry has been evolving rapidly, and there's a lot of uncertainty going into 2025. However, consumers have expressed interest in still pursuing products that they care about, despite the cost in some situations. So, tell us about how specialty foods is driving growth in the retail space in the US and why retailers need to be focusing on specialty foods in 2025.
Absolutely. So I think the first thing that's important to note is that specialty foods come from a place of, real love and intention in eating. And so what you find is that when people have different dietary restrictions or different, flavor needs or different memories of global flavors or things that they've experienced, the specialty food industry represents all of these different things in a really meaningful way, in kind of a artisan, from the ground up type of way. So as people think about ways that they want to indulge when they're eating, specialty food is at the forefront of that. And when people are feeling, maybe constrained, or they're feeling like, their economic situation isn't as great, food continues to be one of the places that they will indulge, even if it's just a little bit. And specialty food lends itself to that very, very well. And in terms of for our, our retail audience, I would want to make sure that, they understand specialty foods, while they do command a higher price point, it also commands a higher margin for our retailers. So you do see, we have a study called The Value of Specialty Food that actually demonstrates the higher margin available to retailers in selling specialty foods over some of the commodity brands.
Leana Salamah, Senior VP of Marketing for the Specialty Food Association, thank you so much for joining us today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. And I hope to see everyone in Las Vegas later this month at the Winter Fancy Food Show.
Looking forward to it. And as always, you can check out more of our great content by clicking on this playlist. Until next time, I'm Brittany Borer with the Food Institute.